David asked something. He said, if you were teaching a young person to hunt from scratch, what are the steps and levels you would have them master progressively?
Hmm. First thing I'd be worried about is making sure that they had fun, that they enjoyed it. Don't send them off swimming or crossing logs. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably just concentrate on getting them an opportunity on an animal as your first step, and let them progress at their own pace. I don't think I would try to make those steps. I'd let them create their own steps. Let them tell you what they want instead of trying to figure out what you think that they need for steps. I think that'd be my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I'd also say, Dan, you kind of preach it too, is, you never know where the next deer is going to come around. So don't get Debbie Downer-ish, stay optimistic, stay positive.
You've got two kids that probably needed to be mentored differently.
Me?
Two totally different personalities.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh, they couldn't be any more different. Yeah.
Because your kids came with us and kind of got mentored on our hunts. You know, they got the devil Dan, and they got the angel Jeff.
Yeah, they did, and you're right. They're very, very different personalities. And to be very transparent, my oldest son, this type of hunting is not for him. He's the kind that he's okay with sitting in a tree stand all day long. You put him in a ladder stand, he will sit there from sun up to sundown. He did this type of hunting, I think, 2 seasons, and he's just not comfortable out there with all that water and sketchiness, I guess you'd say.
But the other son, Luke, he's a marsh warrior.
He'll plow through anything for you.
He'll give her. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's, when I see this question, I think of I started super late in life, but when I think of it almost like taking a kid fishing, right? You want to have them see stuff, and although it's not, catching a fish is different than shooting a deer, but just having them see things, right, and having some action. Right, if they're catching, when you're fishing, if they're catching 3-inch bluegills, they're getting action, right? They're staying busy, and even if you can get them where it's a point where they're seeing deer, even if they're out of range or whatever, it's like that's like part of that experience and building that excitement in their mind, and then kind of easing them on up into the actual harvesting of the animal and all that stuff, and improving and taking it where they want. But I think just that initial thing, just like with little stunted bluegills in a pond with a kid, right? It's just get them seeing some animals.
You got to look at it like this too. I mean, they're not you. I mean, people try to mold these kids when they're mentoring them into what they want them to be, instead of looking at what the kid wants to do and letting them grow. And I think that's where you get a lot of this, where they get back out of hunting and stuff like that, because it's not, they don't see it that way. I mean, for a lot of them, it's just got to be fun but you get kids that are serious too and really want to kill something big, and they get in with some goofy mentor. It's just having fun, joking around.
Yeah.
Not saying somebody bad, but you kind of got to let the kid tell you what he wants to do and what he wants to be. I mean, I think I've learned some lessons there over the years. I mean, my kids, I think I put so much pressure on them to work hard and stuff that they didn't enjoy hunting as much as they should have, that they got out of it a little earlier, don't go back as much, not to say they don't like hunting, but they don't like it like I do. And I know both of my sons really liked just going off and doing exotic hunts and fun stuff, and pheasant hunting, bunny hunting, going and hunting wild boars or something like that. The occasional bear hunt maybe for Junior. Jamie didn't like bear hunting, but to try and make them into little Dans is probably why looking back when I was younger and stuff, and pushing them in their teens, I really pushed James probably harder than I should have. I would have him out there with a alpha and 5 sticks on his back, and we'd go 3 miles back into a swamp, and I'm treating him like he's an adult, a man, and just telling him, just man up and take it, and it's probably not the best way to mentor somebody. You got to ask the kid what he wants to do and where he wants to go and what he wants to go after,
and teach them the basics. Woodsmanship, how to use a compass. Don't rely on the phone all the time. Because I think that's a big thing that's missing is basic woodmanship now. Is not everybody's really adapted to it. Tracking, recognizing the type of tracks.
Yeah.
And going to Dan's point just real quick, you mentioned about letting that kid tell you what he wants to do. We all have different personalities. I agree with that completely. You have to throw a kid in there and let him make mistakes too, because you don't learn anything unless you're making mistakes.
Right.
You can hear about it and know that it is a mistake, but you just don't learn the same way until you make that mistake. So
that's the same thing like at work when I'm mentoring apprentice machinists, and these kids will tell me that they have a plan to try and do something. How are you gonna achieve this project? How are you gonna get it done? And what they're telling you, makes sense, but it ain't gonna work either because you've been down that road, and you know how they're gonna fail. Telling them it's gonna fail when they're excited to try a different way and try to do this method that they see that they're gonna do doesn't help that kid. Just telling them, well, how are you going to achieve that? What if this happens? What if that happens? How are you going to do that? When they want to do it, just let them do it. Let them fail. Yep. And then don't tell them, well, I knew that was going to happen. Just let them fail and then say, well, why did it fail? And, let them learn from it. Yep. The same thing, like if a kid wants to do some drive a certain way or something, and he really well, if we did this is what would happen. Okay, let's do it. You just gotta go out there and let them make some mistakes and learn, as long as they're not mistakes that are going to hurt somebody.
Right.
Yep.
What do you guys think about kids having iPhones and iPads and stuff in the stand and looking at that the whole time?
I'm not in favor of it. I think they totally miss the experience.
Maybe, but maybe taking it away from them is too much.
Yeah, there's probably a balance there that you can do, but I think just have them sitting down the whole time.
You're staring down at your phone and the buck is walking past you.
That's just it. I mean, these kids are growing up with these things in their pockets at 6 years old already. If they never had the chance to sit there without a phone, they wouldn't know any different.
Mm-hmm. That'd be like telling me to get up in the morning and not have a monster.
Yeah. Probably equally as bad for you, I imagine.
Yeah, right.
At least you're not having before bed like Eric.
You can say it. I don't care.
I'm just kidding. Oh, let's see here. That's a good question. That's always something I'm constantly thinking about. Not sure how I'm going to tackle it. I read a couple books about it. About taking kids hunting and stuff, so trying to prepare for it. But yeah, I think my biggest reality is going to be for my son, it's what if he doesn't like to hunt? Well, it's most people don't, and it's also most people, almost everybody doesn't like to hunt like we do, so he's probably not going to,
You just tell him, some people don't like to hunt. Some boys don't like girls.
Hey everybody, if you like the channel, make sure you subscribe right here. And if you like the clips, I got 2 more options for you. 2 options right here. Subscribe right here. See you guys.